if you leave a label off or if you incorrectly label something, it's usually going to be like a half a point or something. If you, depending on the problems, if there's a whole bunch of problems and you leave it off on like all of them, then I might take off like 1 or 2 for like all the problems. But there will be a little bit of deduction if you have the wrong labels. Okay, the last problem. I know you've been waiting for something where you could do the distance formula.
Yeah.
We're finally there. It's been exciting. Woo!
When do we get let out?
When I tell you that you're getting let out.
11:35.
Well, no, Will said it's 25.
It looks like 25.
Don't listen to Will. He's full of poor information.
Hey, I was trying to get him to do it so you'd focus better.
What, really?
-1, 3
No,
is P. I'm going to both write the coordinate and the name of the point just to make sure that I can kind of keep track of what's happening. -3, -1 is Q. It's the point -3, -1 right there. And then R is 1, 2, 3, 4, -1. What kind of shape is that?
A triangle.
That's not surprising, is it? Okay. Find the perimeter and the area. There's your triangle. What do you have to know to do area?
The length of the side.
Area formula is what? 1/2 base and height. Okay, so which side should we use for the base?
Bottom, the base.
Because the height is related how? How are the base and the height related in the area formula here? How are the base and the height related in the formula?
They multiply.
Okay, they have to be
A right angle.
They have to form a right angle. They have to be perpendicular. So if you chose that to be the base, that'd be fine, but then you'd have to know that length to be the height. So whatever side you're using for the base, the height is perpendicular to it. The base and the height are perpendicular. Okay, so we are multiplying 1/2. How long is this? -3 to 4 is how much?
7.
7. And then this way we're going from -1 to 3, so it's 4. So 1/2, the base is 7, the height is 4. What's the label?
Units.
Units squared. You can either do that or you can write 14 and write units squared like that.
Or square units.
Okay. Or you can write square units, yes. If you want to write 14 square units, that's fine too. Okay, Emerson.
So like, you just multiply the 1/2 by the 4 and then by this. Like, could we just do that if you're?
You can. I did 7 times 4 is 28 and divided it by 2. You could also do half of 4 is 2 and 2 times 7 is 14. Or half of 4 is 3.5 and 3.5 times 4 is 14 if you're like special and like working with fractions or decimals. But remember, you're only multiplying one of them by a half. So don't do half of 70 and half of 4 because then you will get half of your answer. Okay, to do the perimeter, what do we have to calculate? Distance. What formula do you do for distance? The distance formula. Yay!
Oh, is it the x?
Okay, so we're doing the square root. No. We're doing distance, which is what you did on homework. Remember that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, okay.
X1,
-3 minus -1
I'm confused by the square root.
and -1 minus 3. The whole thing underneath the square root, and then we're squaring it. I'm going to move this down out of the way here so I can write better. I just need to see the points. The double negative there will make that a plus.
So that's -4 squared.
So that's negative, what's this? That'll be -2 squared. And then the second one is -4 squared. And the square root of the whole thing. Remember, you're doing order of operations. So we're going to be squaring the -2 and getting 4. We're going to be squaring the -4 and getting 16.
Square root of 20.
And that's the square root of 20.
And it's 2, 5. 2 squared is 5.
And 4 is perfect square greater than 2 is, so 2 root 5. That distance is 2 root 5 units. That's exact value. Okay, on the picture, I'm going to write that. This is a 2 root 5. Okay, remember that you're subtracting the x's and squaring it, then you're adding on the difference of the y squared, and then square rooting the whole answer. Okay, for Emerson.
Wait, so like 2 root 5, that's a height, or is that from Q to P?
That's this distance right here.
Okay.
So when it's not a horizontal or vertical segment, you have to do the distance formula. You can count horizontally, you can count vertically. Distance formula for anything that's not horizontal or vertical. Well,
Why aren't you square rooting it? Like, I'm confused why, like, after you square it,
Don't you?
you don't, like,
order of operations, is it right here that you're wanting to get, like, call that -2 and -4?
yeah.
It's because the plus sign in the middle. Order of operations, you have to do underneath, like the square root's a grouping symbol, just like parentheses are. So you have to work inside before you can take the square root of it. So you're going to square and then add, because exponents come before addition, and then you take the square root at the end because it's like a grouping symbol.
Because I was confused, because, like, wouldn't that be the same thing as absolute value bars? I thought you did it the other way, but you got 4 to 2. And
Yeah, no, because the plus sign, you have to do underneath the radical first. Okay, we are a little bit short on time, so let me bring up, wait, hold on a minute. The very last calculation there. You don't have to do distance on the bottom one because you can just count it, all right? But the PR length is going to be the square root of 41. And then when you add those together, so when you add your square root of 41 and your 2 root 5 and your 7, how does that combine? Can you combine them into one radical or like a radical and a number? How does it add together? They don't. Okay, your answer is going to look weird, but it's just 7 plus root 41 plus 2 root 5. That's the most simplified you can make it. The radicals have to be the same in order to be able to combine them together. Okay, those guys will not combine. All right. Okay, your homework for tomorrow is going to be